The next point we will see the electronic mail security. We will see the details of this electronic mail security. So what kind of the security we are going to apply for the email system. These things we are going to study in this lecture. So what we are going to study in this one, the S/MIME protocol, and again the pretty good privacy. Okay, these are the two different functions are there. The different functions we'll see what is the use of the S/MIME, and again what is the use of the pretty good privacy. The pretty good privacy it is also called as the in short the PGP. So the S/MIME, the S/MIME stands for the Secure Multipurpose Internet Mail Extension. That is the secure multipurpose internet mail extension. So the S/MIME will probably emerge as the industry standard. The PGP it is for personal email security. So the PGP we can implement for its our personal use for the email security. So the simple mail transfer protocol, so that is the SMTP RFC 822. So we will see this some background for this SMTP. The SMTP it has some limitations, so it cannot transmit or has a problem with. Or the SMTP limitations we can list out as per follows. It cannot transmit the executable files or other binary files, that is JPG image. National language characters, so it doesn't transmit the national language characters, that is the non-ASCII values. It cannot transmit messages over a certain size, and it cannot transmit lines longer than a certain length, that is 72 to 254 characters. So the header fields in the MIME, so there are 5 different header fields are there. The one is the MIME version. So the MIME version is it must be from 1.0, that is RFC 2045, RFC 2046. The content type, with more types being added by developers, that is application or word. The content transfer encoding, how a message has been encoded, that is by using Radix 64. The content ID is unique identifying character string, and the use of content description is that needed when content is not readable text, for example MPG. So what are the S/MIME functions here? The S/MIME functions is that the enveloped data, signed data, clear signed data, signed and enveloped data here. So what is the enveloped data here? And it is encrypted content and encrypted session keys for the recipients. What is the signed data? The signed data is it is a message digest encrypted with private key of signer. What is clear signed data here? The signed but not encrypted. Signed and enveloped data. So various orderings for encrypting and signing here. So these are the S/MIME functions we have listed. Now which algorithms are used in this S/MIME? So for the message digesting we can use the SHA-1 and MDS. For the digital signatures we can use the DSS, that is digital signature standard. For the secret key encryption we can use the triple DES RC2/40 And for the public private key encryption, we can use RSA algorithm with key size is of 512 and 1024 bits, and Diffie-Hellman we can use for the session keys here. Okay, these algorithms we can use here. Now what is the pretty good privacy? So this is about the PGP here. So the PGP is nothing but, or it is implemented by the Philip R. Zimmermann, is the creator of the PGP. So the PGP provides a confidentiality and authentication service that can be used for electronic mail and file storage applications. So why is PGP popular? So the PGP is popular because it is available free on a variety of platforms. The platform means the any operating systems you can implement or you can install the PGP. It is freely available onto the internet. Just you can download it. It is based on well-known algorithms. There is a wide range of applicability, not developed or controlled by governmental or standards organization. The operational description. So what are the different services provided by the PGP here? So here we have the different 5 services are provided by the PGP. One is the authentication, second confidentiality, third compression, fourth one email compatibility, the last one is the segmentation. So these are the 5 main services are provided by the PGP: authentication, confidentiality, compression, email compatibility, and segmentation here. So here you can see that how PGP cryptography functions are used here. So one side it is going to show that the source A and again the destination B. The source A and source destination B, they want to communicate with each other. But how the messages are going to transfer from the source A to the destination side, that we can see here. See in the first diagram, it is only the authentication is there. In the second diagram, the only confidentiality is there. And in case of the third, confidentiality and authentication. Okay, all these three it is going to implement with the help of the PGP. In the authentication, confidentiality, and we can implement the both the same time, confidentiality and authentication. Now about the email compatibility. So how it does the email compatibility? So the scheme used is Radix 64 conversion, and the use of Radix 64 expands the message by 33%. The 24 bits R64 is used here. The size of the character is equal to 32 bits. Now the segmentation and reassembly, it often restricted to a maximum message length of 50,000 octets. Longer messages must be broken up into segments. The PGP automatically subdivides a message that is too large. The receiver strips of all email headers and reassemble the block. Now summary of PGP services. So the summary of PGP services is that function and algorithms are used. So the digital signature DSS/SHA or RSA/SHA algorithms are used. For the message encryption, CAST or IDEA or triple key DES. with Diffie-Hellman or RSA, compression zip algorithm, email compatibility, Radix 64 conversion. So this is the transmission and reception of the PGP messages. Okay, in that way we saw how the PGP works here.